Hey, everybody. Good afternoon. Charles Cook here, founding partner of Cook Baxter, and just delightful opportunity today to talk to you about some really interesting immigration stuff. Today I'm doing in English. Hoy día estoy hablando inglés. Pero si te preguntas en inglés español, los contestaré. Today is all in English, so ask away your English questions. And of course, if there are Spanish questions at the end, I will, of course, answer them in Spanish as well as in English. But I hope you're having a great day. Good news is we're still alive as a country. Trump hasn't destroyed us yet, so that's a good sign. Let's talk about a couple things that are really kind of top of mind for me today. The first thing I really wanted to talk about was what's going on in Congress. So right now, let's talk about, this is going to be the ICE options today. I wonder where I have that. I've got that listed somewhere here. I've got all these cool drop-down banners I'm supposed to put up, but I always forget. Where are we? I could swear I put something up there. Well, in any event, let's talk about Congress and ICE. So right now, I want to make a banner here, ICE and Congress. A little slow starting today. I apologize for that. So today, ICE, along with the rest of DHS, is not getting funding from Congress. And that's because the Senate has not approved the DHS budget. And they haven't approved it because the senators want changes to ICE's enforcement mechanisms as part of a deal to get them funded. Right? So what do the Dems want? Okay, what do the Dems want? It's pretty straightforward, pretty easy to figure this out. One, stop wearing masks. Stop wearing masks. This idea that they're afraid of being doxxed, well, if they are proud to work for the agency, they should be glad to everybody know that they work for the agency. Keep in mind that during the Obama administration, when they arrested and deported the same number of people, okay, same numbers, by the way, those ICE agents weren't wearing masks. They were doing their job. See, if you're not violating people's rights, you're not going to be doxxed. If you're just arresting people who are either convicted of crimes, and that's easy to pick up because you pick them up at jails, right? Or who have violated immigration statutes, you don't have to violate their rights to do that. You don't have to treat them like garbage to do that. That's what real policing does. But these aren't real police. So what ICE says, no masks. Congress says no masks. Two, they have to identify themselves as ICE. So they need to, you see them now, they wear the like, police little ICE thing. ICE with your badge and your name on your uniform, just like police officers. Remember, these are civil violations. These are guys like the zoning inspector. That's what ICE is. These are civil law violations. Civil law violations. They shouldn't be armed to the teeth. There's no need for them to be armed to the teeth because the dangerous people they pick up are already in custody, right? They don't need an AK-47 to arrest somebody on the street or intimidate them. So be identified. That's number two. I think that's perfectly fair and honest. All the police do it in America. They all do it. Two, stop wearing military uniforms. Three, stop wearing military. No more military uniforms. No more military. You're not in the military. You're not in the military. You're not camouflaging yourself in Minneapolis by wearing green army uniforms, right? Just wear your normal uniform. You know, if that uniform is blue jeans and a shirt, great. You need to have a big vest that says ICE. Here's my name, Bob Jones, and here's my badge number. All right, that's fine. Next thing, stop entering premises in violation of the Fourth Amendment. Period. You want a warrant to enter a house, get a warrant from a judge. Get rid of these administrative warrants. They have no meaning whatsoever. No one has to obey. No one has to obey an administrative warrant. ICE comes to your business and says, we want to come in. Here's an administrative warrant. You say, come back when you have a judicial warrant. ICE comes to your house and wants to come in. Here's my administrative warrant. No, come back with a judicial warrant. Why? Who is writing the administrative warrant? The actual officer or his one-line supervisor up. There's no review of this. There's no Fourth Amendment guarantee of anything here. Boom, get rid of these administrative warrants. They're garbage. They serve no purpose. In fact, when they serve those warrants to hold individuals that are in criminal custody, that subjects the county or the city to fines, to monetary damages if they don't come within 48 hours, which they frequently don't. So yeah, they're not worth the paper they're written on. They shouldn't exist. There's no need for them. They don't need administrative warrants. Get a judicial warrant. They'll say, oh, the judges are too busy. Well, maybe if the judges weren't all hearing all the habeas cases we have to file, they'd have plenty of time to listen to your warrant. So that's another thing that they want. They also want training, actual training of new ICE officers, just like they used to get, not the 2 weeks that they get now. They also want them not to detain people in warehouses they just bought that are not fit for human habitation. They're warehouses. They're designed to store things, not people. Now, the Trump administration is fighting this, saying we don't want anything to do with it. Great. Then just don't open DHS. Now, who that's going to affect more than anybody are TSA, the travel security folks at the airport, people that make sure you're not bringing bad things on the airplane, like your toenail clippers. They're not getting paid. Now, all these guys will get paid at the end. I mean, when it all comes back, they're all going to get paid. And there are unions that help them go through these times. They're missing a paycheck, but they can make rent, they can feed themselves, and they're all going to get this money at the end. All right. So what you need now, though, is basically to get ICE to pay attention to this. And we'll see who blinks first. The Democrats will probably blink first because they're useless at this. They're really terrible at bluffing. And Trump, he's terrible at a lot of things, but he's a pretty good buffler. He's a pretty good bluffer. But we also know Taco. Trump always chickens out. So if you just hold on long enough, Taco, and we'll be okay. So that's what's going on at ICE and Congress right now. That doesn't mean ICE isn't working. ICE is working. ICE is out there working because they're essential employees. And they have money already allotted to them. This is actually to release more money to them. So I think the Dems have a real opportunity here to really make this a big deal. I mean, they can really do something good here and really make the law change. But we'll see. We'll see if they do it. They aren't exactly a model of efficiency. The next thing I wanted to talk about today, let me scroll back up here to where I'm supposed to be, is something, the H-1B lottery. So the H-1B lottery has now been announced. So if you have a bachelor's degree and you're lawfully in the United States, or if you have DACA and you have no unlawful presence, okay, you have no unlawful presence and you have a bachelor's degree, your employer can put your name in the lottery. Now, this is a good year to do the lottery because Trump's $100,000 fee, which we'll talk about in a minute, is scaring people away. So we expect there to be fewer H-1B filings. There'll be plenty still, but this is your opportunity to, if you have DACA and you got DACA before 18 and a half, you can get in the lottery, go consular process, come back. Not a problem. Now, if you got DACA after 18 and a half, you can also apply for the lottery, but you would have to bet your life on what's called a 212D3 waiver that Biden created in the last administration, and which honestly I wouldn't trust as far as I could spit it to guarantee you were coming back. Now, you can travel on advance parole if you can get one. Those take 13 months. But it's an opportunity. And for anybody else listening, if you need an H-1B, the lottery is happening. The lottery is going to happen starting March 4th, I believe, through the 18th, 19th, something like that. Maybe it's the 6th or the 19th. It goes from like a Monday to the following Friday. And then at the end of the month, they will announce the winner. So that's the lottery that's happening. And if you're in the, now, for somebody like DACA, if you're consular processing, you'd have to pay the $100,000 fee. That's the downside. And most employers aren't going to pay $100,000 to hire a bachelor's degree or a master's degree guy. The only ones I've seen do it so far are hospitals in rural areas that desperately need a doctor. It's the only people we've seen do that. If you're in a student visa, though, you can change to an H-1B. You don't pay that fee. So anybody in the United States who can change status does not pay that fee. Now, the next thing I want to talk about are the approval rates for USCIS. And I actually have some really interesting data that came down from a company called Lawfully. Lawfully is a, let's see where I can find this here. Lawfully, it's not coming up. I don't know why it's not coming up. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, I know what's going on. I know. Let's see if I can figure this out. A window. That's what I need. Yes. All right. So here we go. These are the approval rates. This is interesting. So Lawfully is a private company that runs immigration software, and they went out and they created this report where they tell you what the approval rates were for 2025 from the information they have to date, right? So H-1Bs, this is fascinating. H-1Bs had an approval rate in the first 6 months of the year of 90% and an approval rate of 98%, same, so 98%. So basically, if you apply for an H-1B visa, you're basically going to be approved. You're basically going to be approved. Basically 98%, you're going to be approved. And the average processing time is 6 months. Now, L1 visas. L1 visas in the first half of the year were 92% approval, and in the second half of the year, 89%. So a 3% drop, not much of a drop in statistically speaking. And there aren't a lot of L's every year. There's 20 or 40,000 L's a year, unlike H's, where there's a couple 100,000 H's a year with renewals and everything that come through. So not unusual, because with Biden, really the last Trump administration and then the Biden administration made L's harder. So this is not, this is a pretty good approval rate. O1s, these are people of extraordinary ability. This has seen a significant drop, almost a 10% drop in the second half of the year. Why? One, a lot of people are trying to file O1s, people that aren't qualified, and the Trump administration has made O1s harder to get. So not that they've changed the rules, they're just looking at them with a side eye and making decisions that I think could be litigated, could be overturned on appeal, but are resulting in a lower approval rate. Now, here's why I wanted to bring this next part up. For EB1, these are people of extraordinary ability. They were being approved at a 70% rate in the first half of the year and a 46% rate in the second half of the year. This is the EB1As. I have a lot of clients come see me. I want to do an EB1. I think I'm extraordinary. Great. Our approval rate, just FYI, is 100%. You know why it's 100% for the last 5 years? Because we don't file garbage. We tell people, honestly, you are not going to win this case. Whereas there are websites on the internet, we guarantee your approval or your money back. Yeah, one, check and see if everybody's ever getting their money back. You look at Yelp and see how those ratings are. Second, why are you going to spend money and bring yourself to the attention of the government if you don't have a chance of winning? Because what they also do now is, if at the end of EB1A, if you're denied and you don't have status, they're going to put you in deportation proceedings, and then you're screwed. And certainly never, ever file an adjustment of status application with an EB1. Always keep your underlying status until that EB1 is approved. The bigger number here, because I see this all the time, the EB2 national interest waiver. Approval rates went from 60%, which were low, because under the Biden administration, it was upwards of 80% they were approving, down to 36% approval rate. This is disastrous. I have people come see me all the time because they've seen a TikTok by somebody who purports to be a lawyer or an expert saying everybody gets approved. It's like car free. It's like Oprah. You get an NIW. You get it. Everybody gets an NIW. No, everybody doesn't get an NIW. And again, our approval rate is very close to 100%. We've had one denied in the last couple of years. And this one, people are getting denied 64% of the time. 2/3 of the time they're getting denied because so much garbage is being filed. Look, I'm not calling you garbage. I'm just telling you that if you don't have a legitimate case, why are you going to file? And literally, don't trust anybody that guarantees you your money back. Really, because I don't think you're going to get it. So be really careful about that. But that's the trends that you need to be aware of. There is NIWs, and a guy come see me the other day. He's got a pending asylum case. He could consular process, and he says, "Well, I want to do the NIW." I said, "Well, what's your national interest?" And he says, "Well, I'm an accountant." Okay, what's your national interest? Well, I make sure the books of this business are balanced. He says, "What's your national interest?" I said, "Well, that keeps people employed." What's your national interest? There is no national interest in being an accountant in a single company. You develop a new accounting standard that makes businesses more profitable and easier to run, come see me. That's in the national interest. Just being an average, ordinary person in your job, that's not the national interest. These are difficult to win. So be careful out there and don't be ripped off by anybody. All right. Next thing I want to talk about are the update on the litigation. All right, we've got a number of lawsuits pending. First of all, we got all the habeases, right? So this week, so what we've seen for some people who get habeases granted, they're entertained. Judge orders a bond hearing. They go to court, and the judge says you're a flight risk because I don't think you got relief. That's not the standard. Okay, that's not the standard. And it's clear there was a judge that was granting bonds, and then the next week she denied all the bonds. That means somebody said to her, deny all bonds. So we filed a motion to enforce, as did some of our colleagues around the country. I know there's a hearing on Monday with one of them. We have a hearing next week as well on one of them. And we suspect that we're asking the judge to release our client, just flat out release them, rather than doing habeas at this point, because we're not getting fair bond hearings. We know for a fact, this is not information to believe, we know for a fact that somebody at EOIR, we know this, called judges and told them to look for ways to deny bonds, looking at speculative relief and flight risk. We know that. We know that happened. They can deny all they want, but we know that happened because we see the results of it, right? We see the results. Not every judge is following it because they have ethics. They have honor, and they believe that what they're doing needs to be done in an impartial manner. Finding ways, being the prosecutor and the judge, that's not impartial, which is why we need to get rid of all the immigration judges. I mean, we need to have real judges appointed, confirmed by Congress, and this is their job, just doing immigration cases, and they're not influenced or run by, or actually the boss of, the Attorney General. She runs all these judges. They do what she says, and that's immoral, and that violates due process. So let's look at some of the other cases we've got going on. We got the 39-country lawsuit filed in the Northern District of Georgia before Judge Grimberg. And looks like we've agreed to oral argument either on the 17th or 18th of March. Those are the dates the judge gave us. That's about 2 weeks after the last brief is due in the case. Government brief is due, I think, tomorrow, or no, we gave them a little bit extra time. That brief is due Monday, I think. Monday? Yeah, Monday. I think it's 25th. 24th or 25th, and then we've got a couple days to do our reply brief, which we don't really need that much time. So that's good news. It's really good news, and we look forward to that hearing. That's going to be fun. It's going to be in Atlanta. Probably not be online, but it's going to be life altering for people once we win that lawsuit on F1 revocations. The government still has to file their answer here shortly. We know that they've been in touch with us. They're asking us about a motion to dismiss. We said, look, do what you got to do. Let's get this thing filed. So we're waiting on them to get that filed and looking forward to the result. But there's no update other than that. We're waiting on the government at this point. The $100,000 fee, I mentioned earlier, we were going to talk about that. The $100,000 fee case is going for oral argument on next Friday. Next Friday. Next Thursday or Friday? Next Friday. In the Northern District of California. We feel very good about that case. We've got good arguments about why Judge Howell's decision in D.C. is not just wrong, but doesn't make any sense in light of the law. So we've got good arguments there. We've got good people arguing that case. And of course, we'll update you as soon as we have that oral argument and let you know what's going on. And then last but not least, we're starting here at Impact. We are starting our DV 2026 lottery lawsuit. That'll be on the Impact website. Maybe I could put it in a link here. I'll put it live. Put that up in. There we go. We're gonna make the link for that, and I'll put it up here. And then you can click on that link if you have access. If you have the ability to do that. And we're gonna put cancel that. Yeah, we're gonna create a banner. This will be the banner. Boom. Here's the DV lottery case for the mandamus, and also we will be onboarding again. I can get rid of this screen, right? Yeah, we will be onboarding again for another round of the now 75 and 39 country cases. So if you didn't sign up for the first case, in which we had 350 plaintiffs, we'll be adding more plaintiffs to that as soon as we have a good percent, a good number of people. And that should be going up in the next day or so. We're just waiting on the folks to do the tech work behind that to make that happen. So that's kind of what's going on overall with all the cases. A lot to keep track of, a lot of work to be done. But we're really looking forward to some success with these. I know my friend Curtis Morrison had an oral argument on his country ban case last Friday, and Jim Hacking had his. Jim was Friday, and Curtis was the week before that. Curtis shared with us his oral argument transcript. I think he did a great job. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We think we've got a compelling case. We've got great legal arguments. We've got terrific clients who have given us great hardship that's caused by this. And I think we've got the declarations from more than 350 people. I mean, it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. I think the judge sees this. He's going to go, oh my gosh, this is nuts. You can't do this. You can't take money from people and then not do the work. You can't do that. That's like, but you paid me, and I said, yeah, I'm not going to be able to work on that now. I'll get to you in a year because I don't like where you're from. You would sue me, right? You would sue me because that's illegal. That's theft of services. That's theft, right? That's fraud. That's what it's called, fraud. There's no other word around it. This idea that the government's doing background checks. What background checks? These people are in the United States. They're almost all in the United States. What background checks are you doing? They're already here. You did background checks. What they have yet to articulate what more they could do. They have yet to articulate that because they can't. They can't articulate that. Let's take a look at some of these great questions we have here today. Donaldo, I am doing great, Donaldo. I'm doing great. Feeling good and getting ready for planting season here at the farm. No questions. Victor, good to see you. Good to see you. Very nice. Very kind of you guys. You're very, very kind. H-1B suit is still on track. Just keep the faith on me. Juan Campo 23. I just renewed my DACA last Friday with 3 months left for it. Dude, you should have listened to me. I know. And they're backlogged on intaking stuff. I don't know whether they're just letting money sit in boxes, but intake is a problem. That's why you should file online, by the way. You file these on the DACA renewals online, you get a receipt right away. It's already in the system. So that's where we go. All right, what's going on with DACA? Already updated on DACA. There's nothing on the DACA website. I checked. There's no movement. Judge Hannon's done nothing, so it's still keep the faith situation. Yes, I know it's been 5 years. Hello, abogado. Los perdones están demorando. Nah, son más a 24 meses. The 61 waivers taking 28 and a half months. Más a 24. Más a 24. More like 24 months. The one that comes. Also, my payment didn't go through. Could I make payment online, or is another application you need to put in? Well, one, did you file online? Because you had to pay when you filed. Or did you send it by mail with a check? You can't send another check. They have no way to match it up. Any chances they vote on the DREAM Act this year? No. The DREAM Act will not pass Congress because Republicans won't let it pass. They just won't. They won't. We paid for an I-45. We are legal. We pay tax. Legally, how they now pause? Yeah, I agree, Satari. It's illegal. Hola, abogado. Queremos que se vaya Trump rápido. Todos queremos esto. What do you think they're going to approve new appliances? Nobody gets new appliances with DACA, but the new applications will be approved when Judge Hannon makes his final decision. When that is, we've given up guessing at this point. All reasonable timeframes have now lapsed. Is it still safe to request an ITIN number to tax to file someone who's waiting for his son to turn 21? Look, ITINs are to pay taxes. As far as I know, there's no risk. I'm not a tax lawyer. I don't do ITINs. I don't know why there'd be a risk in getting one. Let's see. Rashid, good to see you. Some congressional pressure regarding there's no congressional pressure. None. Congress has done nothing. Remember, Democrats their ability to pressure is pretty limited. It barely devolves down to stopping funding. That's what they can do. They can stop funding. But Congress isn't going to do anything on this. Good evening. You must be outside the United States. The new immigration proposed rule for appeals will affect people. He's talking about the Board of Immigration Appeals, saying you only have 10 days to appeal. And even if you appeal, they can decide to not take it. And they basically told them, we're not going to take any appeals unless the government files one. So no, it's a sham. It's a complete sham. But what that's going to do is just cause us go very quickly to the Court of Appeals. And we're going to flood the Court of Appeals with appeals. And they're going to get really pissed off. And they're going to go to Congress to find out what happened. Any advanced parole update? I've got none. We did not get any this week, so we still have we're still at 13 months. Carlina Ramirez, do you know why DACA approval is taking longer than usual? Actually, no. I don't know for sure, but I have a theory. My theory is that USCIS has X number of employees. They lost 20, I think it was 20% of their employees quit since Trump came in. They've hired no new people. That's one. Two, they've reassigned the people that were on DACA to other things. So, I don't know how many people they had assigned to DACA, maybe 10, 20, 30. They'd probably have a third of those, is my best guess. Third of those still waking. So it's a function of money going in, but the agency not doing the work. Do you know why DACA? So that's DACA approvals. I have DACA and I have an old deportation order that's still valid. I'm going to New York, to Arizona. Now you can travel. You have DACA. You're good. Good afternoon, Mr. Cook. I hope you're having a great day. I am, Marco. Thank you very much. Angel, Cook. I haven't been here in about, and I haven't been here in about, and I'm at work right now trying not to get caught. Anything with DACA, I can't rewind. There's nothing with DACA. Nothing's happening. Okay, it's just nothing. Nothing's happened. We got Frank Esso. Esso used to be the gas station, which is now known as Exxon. To add to an earlier question by Mr. Wu, I have a similar but with order of supervision, removal order, and DACA plus real ID. If I travel by air, said yes, travel by air is fine. You are fine. If you have DACA, they will not arrest you and they will not do anything to you. You can travel. What is it about the new H-1B regs from stopping people from being registered for level 4 or losing the job? Can't continue to pay after 1 year, transfer the same job at level. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. Nothing. So you could get your H-1B and you can be on the H-1B payroll for level 4 for a month. And then a month later, your employer files an amendment H and puts you back at 2. There's nothing that you can't do that. I agree. I mean, it's all stupid what they're doing. It's just stupid. I hear that the form doesn't even ask. It does not, or salary. It's just the level and location. I know. It's just silly. I agree. Jessica Cardinal, what is the safest route from Atlanta to National Harbor? About National Harbor in Washington, D.C.? If you have DACA, get on an airplane. Or you can drive. Go through Virginia. You can drive. It's like a 9-hour drive, 8 to 9-hour drive. But you can fly. It's perfectly fine. Mr. Cook, can the current Congress update the registry to 2007? Sure, they could do that, but they're not going to. They're not going to happen. This whole idea of updating the registry is literally not going to happen. Hello, Abogado. My brother just got his residency card not long ago. He's joining the Army. He's married. Do you know if he could possibly adjust status to our mother? Here's what he could do. I'm assuming your mother came in illegally. So once he signs his contract with the Army, he can do what's called military parole in place for your mom. Basically, your mom is converted from somebody who's undocumented to somebody on deferred action with a legal entry without leaving the country. And once she has that, and he turns 18 or turns 21, then he can apply for a green card. We've done hundreds of them. Call, we can help. We know how to do these. Do I need to file I-864 if I checked requesting exception due to 40 qualifying credits? Now, here's the deal. You do not have to file the 1664 if you have qualifying credits, but you will get an RFE for not submitting the 864 because they're idiots. So do the 864, but also tell them that you are exempt. I know, it's just stupid. It's stupid. But when you're dealing with the people you're dealing with, this is what you got to do. Hello, my DACA has been approved, but no update. Just says case rendered for my work authorization. Hopefully it comes soon. Yeah. I have DACA with the deportation order and approved I-130 for my daughter sponsoring me. Lawyer said he doesn't want to reopen it until my wife has her green card. Well, do you have a legal entry? You have a legal entry? If you have a legal entry, I would file now. Hopefully you did advance parole. If you're waiting on your wife to do a waiver, then you don't really need to reopen the case unless it was in absentia. So again, complicated case is why we do consults. Give us a call. We can go over the case. Everyone needs to practice good OPSEC. Absolutely. Oh, that reminds me. Something else I wanted to share. Here. Oh, hold on a second. I've got something really important for you to share here. There is a website that I would like to introduce you guys to. This is called iceout.org. Iceout.org. Let's see. Screen sharing tips. Go to the window. This is this website. This is iceout.org, also known as People Over Papers, and you can report ICE in your neighborhood. Now, there was an app that's still active, but you can't get it on the Apple Store currently. But this website lets you do the exact same thing, and it lets you know where there's ICE activity or ICE sightings. And for example, you could click on like there and say, oh, there is in Nolensville Pike and Ludi Street in Nashville, there was ICE. And you could report ICE or see where people are on ICE on iceout.org. Iceout.org, good website, join it. And if you did download to your phone the IceOut app, then you can also track it on there. One other way to, if you're really worried about getting caught by ICE, there's one other way to do it. Okay, let's see. I got to go back up to where I was. There's so many questions. Thank you, everybody. Here it is. Oh, there it is. How long did Judge Hanna take to make rulings in the past? Not this long. Not this long. He's intentionally delaying it because he knows DACA is going to start again. He knows he has no choice. And he just doesn't, he's going to delay it until he's basically forced to do it, I think, at this point. I have DACA with an approved Act 130 for 2024. Denied motion open from BIA, pending response from joint motion open, low probability. One of the banned, anything else can be considered. Well, Frank, is it an in absentia order? Yes or no? And how old were you if it was an in absentia order? Good morning, dipped in butter. There you go. Good to see you. Any updates on bona fide C-14 UB's litigation? None, because we didn't get enough plaintiffs. Only had 6 people hire us. We can't do a mass litigation with 6 people. It's great litigation. I know some prominent lawyer talked against it. You don't need to do that, but it's stupid. This is the way to protect yourself. But darn if we can get people to join. Carlos, how long are work authorizations taking? Well, right now they're like it's 4 to 8 months, probably closer to 8 months. It's crazy. Hello, my parents got their documentarily complete on March 23 for Juarez by a citizen. Well, it's typically 18 months. You've been pending longer than you should. Your lawyer should be following up with the consulate because it should be around 18 months. I sent it through my lawyer when I renewed it with them, but then I had bills come up and took a dent of my $600 and I didn't get paid till tomorrow. I don't know what that means, the Juan Campo. I lost the trend. Why haven't they released the visa bulletin? Well, this happens. I mean, every now and then there's probably, well, first of all, we don't know. We don't need it till March 1, right? We don't need it yet. And 2, maybe, well, I know one problem that's been in the past with the Department of State is they didn't get the data from USCIS. So it might be that. I don't know. Other than that, I have no idea why they're delaying it. My wife applied for SNAP for my 2 children, and she did receive it. Does it affect my DACA? No, does not affect your DACA. It belongs to your kids, not you. Antonio, that is a great picture, by the way. Buenas tardes, abogado. Tengo una pregunta. Tengo un amigo que lo agarró a migración, detenido en 2003 por inmigración. El año pasado lo cerraron el caso administrativamente. Hace 2 días le volvieron a agarrar y él tiene permiso de trabajo. Su esposo ya metió la petición por él. ¿Será que puede conseguir fianza? Sí, podemos hacer una fianza. Llámenos y te ayudamos. Can these rural hospitals afford $100,000? They can afford $100,000 more than they can afford not having a doctor. At least that's what my friend Greg Siskin's telling me. Hope you and your family are doing well. What are you hearing about green cards trying to come back to the U.S. from Mexico, Canada? Nothing to come back. I haven't heard any problems. I have an initial DACA app since 2021. I go to uni in New England, graduated in May. DACA, would I have to change my address to the uni address? No. Saludos. Good to see you, Lopez. Anibel. K410W. If the Dignity Program and status gets removed from the Dignity Act, do you think the bill will have a higher chance of passing? No. That bill's not going to pass. That bill's not even have a hearing. Not even have a hearing. It's just not. Not this Congress. So why are you still so okay? Yeah, you can go to Hawaii. If you got DACA, go to Hawaii. It's great. It's not risky. I'd go to Hawaii. It's awesome. I love going to Hawaii. I'm going there in October. Hello, I have asylum. If I'm married to a U.S. citizen and we do the marriage petition, how long do you think it'll take for the process? Well, if you have asylum, I'm presuming you came in illegally. If you came in illegally, you do the I-130. That's taking 12 to 18 months. You may have to do a waiver. I don't know how long you applied for asylum after you got here. If you need to do a 601A waiver, that's 24 to 28 months. And then you got to get an appointment at the consulate. Depending on what consulate you're from, might be 4 months, might be 2 months, might be 18 months. So 4 to 5 years. If you came with a visa, then great. You get married, you get a green card in a year. Why did DACA renewals take so long, over 105 days? I already talked about that. Can I travel to California from Jersey with my work permit? What exit, baby? I have to take my ASC to get my BSF certification. Yeah, you can travel. Get on an airplane. You got a work permit and your license. You don't need to show your Mexican passport. Just a work permit and your driver's. I'll just show your driver's license at the TSA. I don't think you need to do anything else other than that. Do I have the full details? But in short, my uncle had deportation order closed 10 years ago and then reopened. The lawyer forgot the doc to dismiss the deport. Can I report to the bar? Well, you can file a bar complaint and file a malpractice claim. El juez de Texas tiene tiempo limitado para... No. My brother is a citizen. Yes. Does the judge have a limit to make a decision in Texas? No. My brother is a citizen. Has applied for my parents. It's been over a year. We need to get their removal dismissed. What can we do? Hire a lawyer. You should hire a lawyer. Hire us or another good lawyer because you're going to need one. Hello, Mr. Cook. I'm planning a trip to Puerto Rico. My cousin. Why? But he's afraid he has a juvenile expungement record. Will that affect him? I don't know. What's his status? Does he have DACA? Does he have a green card? I don't know. I need more information. CC, my DACA expired. Get any updates on the application. I applied in October. Did you call the 800 number? Have you called your congressman and senator? How long before renewal did you apply? This is why I've been telling you guys for years. Apply 1 year in advance. I'm not kidding. 1 year in advance. Mitchell, good to see you. Lasowski, hey, Sensei. Why did the Dems ask for a listing of mandatory body cams for ICE not accepting? Because they can't because they have to tie what they're doing to the budget. And whatever they do has to get through the House. Right? So whatever they're adding to it has to go back to the House. Nothing with DACA is going to pass the House. They do care, but they're political realists. And when you're a political realist, you have to deal in the reality of politics. The reality is MAGA controls the House. You want this to change? Get U.S. citizens to vote these clowns out of office. All right. I have a question. If I don't have any DACA status, but I get married to a citizen here, will it make it to get my green card if I haven't been here long? No, it doesn't matter how long you've been here. You said that it expired. That's just terrible, Michael. Why would you let something so important expire? Right now, you got to go through the waiver process until DACA comes back and you get advanced parole. That's what you got to do. Pretty sure it doesn't matter how long you've been here. That makes no difference. Pretty sure I ask every time, but it's travel domestically with DACA. Yes, it's okay to travel domestically with DACA and a D-removal order. My mom was deported 17 years ago, a 10-year restriction. Can my citizen apply for? Yes. Apply now. It'll take about 3.5 years to get her back here. That's just processing times. Sorry, my last question. Is there any document we have pre-signed in case we get detained? I don't need a G28. G28s are for me to talk to ICE. ICE won't talk to me anyway, with or without a G28. I don't need a damn G28. All you got to do is say, call Cook, he'll do the habeas. That's it. I don't need to be hired beforehand. I don't need anything signed beforehand. Just have a relative call us. We just need your A number and we'll get it done. Hello, Mr. Cook. My cousin is under DACA. We are planning a trip to Puerto Rico. You already asked this question. Oh, he's under DACA. He can go. Fine. He's got juvenile records aren't anything. He wouldn't have DACA if it was a problem. Some DACA have been arrested recently. One in an airport. Have you seen these? I have not seen these. If they were arrested, there has to be a reason. And that reason typically would be they have a crime that wasn't disclosed. There is no other reason a DACA recipient would be arrested. None. Hello, not sure if you have provided an update on the UB's litigation. I did by saying that we don't have enough plaintiffs. We only have 6 people that signed up. So I don't think we can do it. Freddie Garcia, I just joined the live. My daughter applied for DACA, sent her an application, took her to sign the immigration. 1 week after DACA was canceled. She's still waiting. Keep waiting until the judge makes a decision. Nancy, can my mom fix papers? My sister petitioned for her legally. My mom is a resident. My sister petitioned for my mom came illegally. Your mom would have to leave the country for 10 years unless she has a spouse or a parent who's a resident or citizen to apply for a waiver. So that's the process. Mr. Cook, is somebody who is detained in ICE facility on DUI possible to get a bond? Depends on how long ago the DUI was. If it's recent, probably not going to get a bond, but they could still get voluntary departure. Kathy, what happens to people that did apply for UV's litigation? Well, once we decide we're not going to go forward, we return their money. Mario, if someone with DACA gets deported but can become a citizen in the future because of direct family, can they still retire? They have enough. Yeah, we don't have any points. I don't know what points mean, but you can, once you become a resident, you can retire here. Absolutely. If DACA opens, I assume I have to do biometrics again, but I'm in New England. You'd go to the local office. I mean, if you get an appointment for the Midwest, you can take that into your local office in the Northeast. All right. Are you predicting any immigration reform before election? Yeah, I'm predicting that there's no immigration reform before the election. And I'm predicting there's no immigration reform after the election. Because this Congress doesn't end until January. Now, January 2027, that better be one of the first damn bills they vote on. That better be one of the bills they vote on right away in the House and in the Senate. HB 6, HB 1, whatever that was last time to pass the damn thing. I've been waiting for almost a year for my work. Do you know why? I don't. Denise, do I need advance protocol to Puerto Rico? You do not, because Puerto Rico is the United States. Do you think the administration is a bit deluded thinking U.S. is only country where, okay, look, I can't get into the fact that Donald Trump is stupid and nuts and what they're doing is destroying America. I don't disagree. I think it's the worst thing that could happen to America. But you know what? I'm not the president. Vote for me next time. Let's see. They have legal entry, came in a visitor. If somebody came in legal entry, they get a green card here. Married. If they married to a citizen or have a child as a citizen. My sister got married 18 months ago to a citizen, got her work permit, is waiting for a green card. She was told whenever you need it, how much longer should you wait before making an inquiry? Normal, if you go to the website, because every location is different. And I'd be shocked if she's not interviewed, honestly. But look in your local office at how long those cases are taking. Jose Luis, hello, someone of Trump government is working about the pause of the DV lottery. I don't know what that means. I know we're suing them on the DV lottery. He should join that lawsuit. We've got, and by the way, we've had massive lawsuits before that we won. We have great oral arguments that we won. We're going to win that case. Thank you for serving. We really appreciate it. Easy last question. What's the schedule of these live events? I do these every Wednesday at 1 o'clock Eastern. Now, next week, so that is the 25th, I will actually be in Poland. And if I'm not mistaken, 1 o'clock Eastern, I think, is 7 a.m. in Poland. I think. So I am not sure that I will be on next week. I will do my best to wipe the sleep out of my bleary eyes and get up and do this live next week at 7 in the morning, 1 o'clock Eastern time. So hopefully I'm there. Stay tuned. By the way, notice we have a lot less people listening today because Twitter's live stream is down. Twitter's live stream is down. Is it just for me? I don't know. Cassidy, my husband was detained by ICE back in July for removal. He got, when he was a minor, he's had DACA since before he was 18. They let him out for 3 weeks, but just he will be detained again. None. Why was he detained? I mean, your lawyer should have him out in minutes. They should have had him out. But do the I-130 and terminate the removal. I mean, that's what you need to do. Cruz Gutierrez, hi, thank you for your response. Mama's green card. I have DACA. I'm married. It can fix me. Great. Excellent. You're in good shape then. Sayo Ramirez, hola, could I get residency? I have DACA, did AP, but not sure if deportation or salida voluntaria was 19. That's it. My son will be 18. Well, that's easy to figure out. What's your A number? Go to the EOIR portal and check your A number and see if you've got a hearing. See if you've got a removal order. You can find that out in about 30 seconds. Let's see. Hola, buenas tardes, Mogot. Diana Brutman, pending DACA, hopefully reopens a new application, hopefully. If parents I-130 is pending, they need to have the removal dismissed. Yeah, you need to get the I-130 approved before you do anything. That needs to be approved. And right now, motions to reopen are really hard. I have a master hearing next month. I have DACA. What happened is judges don't close or terminate proceedings. Well, here's what we're seeing is some judges are refusing to close and going forward with your removal order and giving you a removal order and then nothing because you can't be removed. It's a gigantic waste of time, but it's easy for them to get a number like this. Heck, if I were you, I would apply. If you got kids or parents who are residents or citizens, file for cancellation removal and try to drag this case out past 2028. Brandy Ruby, what do they say if we stop by ICE with DACA? You say, I have DACA. Here's my DACA card. That's what you say. Oh. All right. How long is taking ICE, if stopped by ICE with DACA, what would be the proper thing to say if passing? Oh, you already asked that question. I looked at it twice. How long is it taking NBC to schedule Juarez? 18 months is what we've seen. Carlos Monroy, what do you think is going to happen with TPS? Trump's going to end every single one of them except for El Salvador because Bukele sucked up to him. So El Salvadorans are fine, but nobody else is. I mean, DPS is gone. Any word on the 19-country ban being lifted for AOS? No. Estos problemas con ICE en el Congreso hará que retrase los aprobaciones. No deben. If my husband got DACA for 18 and a half years, does he need to do AP to apply for AOS? Well, yeah. If he doesn't have a legal entry, he needs a legal entry to AOS. Now, if you don't want an AOS, if you got DACA for 18, you can just consular process him. But it takes 18 months to consular process. But he can do that too. And that way you won't have to do advanced parole, but he's still leaving the country to go to the interview in Juarez. Could you travel within the United States with a Mexican passport? Not unless you have other authorization, like a driver's license or a work permit. After the election, VP Rance and Rubio and frontrunners, nothing will change as far as immigration. Neither one of those men will be president next. Write that down. If you stand, we'd all vote for you. Thank you. Una persona de Colombia que acaba de tener sesión aprobado, ya puedes marcar la cita con MC en Colombia. Es hora que se termine la pausa para marcar la cita. No debes empezar el proceso ahorita por la cita. My parents are in the process of a U visa. A lawyer told them they have to pay almost $3,000. What? What are they renewing? It's just their work permits. Victor, I need more information. This is not a complete set of facts. I would definitely vote for you, but first I need to get my cricket out. Thank you, Ever. So you're saying that after midterms, Congress should vote on a bill for immigration reform. Would that be? I don't have time to get into the ideal immigration bill today. I'll do that in another show. I've done it before. 7 p.m. Oh, it's 7 p.m. That's right. I was thinking earlier. Thank you, Ami. So I'll be at dinner. I don't know why I was thinking it was earlier. Like my brain wasn't working. Thank you, Ami. Maybe I can sneak out of dinner and do a short one from the plaza. I know it's going to be butt cold over there. My parents got their resident card like 10 years ago. I can get mine through them, or my brothers or their citizens, or best to wait for my daughter. It's going to be way faster. I don't know how old your daughter is, but if your parents sponsor you, it's 20 years. Let's see. Do you think applying to adjust status while living in a different state is potential for denial? She's working on temp control, and I'm looking to apply soon. Well, if you don't live with your spouse, that's a reason for immigration to certainly question the validity of your marriage. But I've also got these approved because I had a valid explanation. So depends on how good your lawyer is, I guess. How much is a consult? We never talk about fees here, ever. Even consults, call the office, 404-816-8601. We'll post it up where to call. In case an individual is detained, does it matter if their lawyer is local to where they're detained, or it's currently of no importance? It's of no importance because it's all done by Zoom now. Can you tell us about DV lottery? We are suing, so join the lawsuit. Yeah, go to impact.org, and I also put it up earlier, the link. Why can we only ask one question every time? This guy, Amipot, always said more than 3. Nicole, if you have a second question, feel free to answer it. What I don't want you to do is ask the same question over and over again. No, we don't want President Trump to go anywhere. VP answer. Yeah. I can't understand, Sally, why you're watching this. If you think Donald Trump is the bee's knees, I don't even know why you're here, really. Because everybody else here thinks he's the worst president we've ever had. Yeah, terrible. Terrible human being. Is it official that DACA will come back? Oh, yeah, DACA's coming back. Time to get approved for AP, EWI. Right now, it's like 13 months for an advanced parole for DACA. Ali, good to see you. How is someone's DACA affected their information for 2 years misdemeanor charges? DACA is probably going to be denied when you renew it. What are the charges? If you got convicted of a crime and took a plea, you're probably screwed under this administration. Is there a possibility of removing my orders of provision checking by having DACA? Yeah, I mean, I think there is. Have you tried? USCIS approved an asylum case for my mother and sister before Trump came into presidency, but then once they came in office, postponed, canceled. And well, they approved them, they got asylum. I don't understand how. What do you mean they postponed or canceled them? That doesn't make any sense. Enjoying my time. I will have a great time in Poland. It is not a vacation, although I'm going to enjoy myself there, but I'm actually going to speak at a conference, international law conference. ¿Qué se puede hacer o quién puede cambiar la ley de barra permanente? El Congreso. By the way, the lawsuit on that, the government has filed a motion to dismiss. We'll be responding to that. And we're in communication with the government lawyers to see if we can't work a way around that. Is there a difference between EB2 and EB2 NIW? It's just well, EB2 and EB2 MIW are the same category. NIW is one side of the EB2. The other side of the EB2 is a labor certification. So if you got a DACA for 18 and a half, you can qualify for, if you have a master's degree, you can qualify for it if you meet the standard. Do a perm or do an NIW. We've done them. We talk about this here for years, and certainly we've helped people for years. Okay, I hope Americans think he's the worst president. What are the odds that Officer Entry will let you in with AP? 0. Attorney Cook for president. Thank you, Sheila. How long will it take if my mom, who has a U visa, sponsors me as a DACA holder who's married? It'll take forever because U visa holders can't sponsor married children. Does public charge apply when AOS for children over 21? Yes. My question was, if my sister could use my mom, if she came illegally, but is a resident, so grandma can be her waiver. Yeah, I mean, your sister can sponsor your mom, and then your mom's mom can sponsor the waiver. Absolutely. When is DACA coming back, Elian? I don't know. If I knew that, I'd be a rich man. 601 still being approved? Yes, but it's 3 years. So why is the latest news about immigration pause on the 75 countries? Litigation's pending. Are we, as DACA, able to clam out 401k? Yeah, it's your money. Si mi mamá residente me pidiese 6 años y yo estoy fuera del país y tengo más de cuánto tiempo toma. Ahorita, si usted es soltero, es 10 años. Frank Esso's back. Question is there a possibility we might order provision check-ins with having DACA? Yeah, you can. Again, I answered that question. Have you asked? Sir, how long is it possible for this pause? I think that's going to be the pause is going to be in place while Trump's president, which is why we have to sue. Just a couple last things. If you want to make an appointment here, all you got to do is call 404-816-8611, 404-816-8611, make an appointment, or you can go to our website at immigration.net, make an appointment there, make it online. I prefer Zoom appointments. They're much easier. You can see me faster because I'm only in the office 2 days a week. And so Zoom is just a much better option. And of course, if you have questions, everybody will tell you that emails me. Always email back. I always give them an answer. And of course, follow me on the Twitter machine, even though today it appears to be dead. We'll be seeing you guys next week. Again, this is Chuck Cook, founding partner here at Cook Baxter. Look forward to seeing you from Poland at 7 p.m. You guys have a safe and good week. Bye-bye.